Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing good. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Direct Hoses All Black 9 kit that I purchased back in November. So what came in the box for me was the machine itself, the stubby gun with a variety of attachments, a 10-metre hose, a 3-point swivel adjustment and a lance extension. So absolutely no messing about today, we're straight into the video, and what you can see here is the inlet, which has a nice fancy filter on it, the outlet connection to your hose, which is running water, and a pressure adjuster for adjusting the pressure, and of course your pressure gauge. So the first and most important thing I'm going to do here is prime the pressure washer, and you'll see why we're filling up this big bucket later on. The main reason for priming the pressure washer is so that you don't have any air in the system when you switch it on and you go to start using the machine. This is going to prolong the life of your machine. Once you've primed the system, you can switch the machine on and give it a good blast just to make sure that everything's working fine and that you're good to go. So at the moment there I've got the 15-degree preset nozzle on it, and what I'm going to show you just now is the adjustable nozzle. Now this is, you just click it in, it's quick release, and you can adjust it anywhere from a nice wide fan to a pretty direct stream of water. I like to use this nice wide fan on a hot day just to get the panel temperatures of the car nice and cool, giving it a good covering of water. So once I've given the car a thorough rinse over, I'm going to use snow foam, and the snow foam lance that I'm using today, coupled up with the All Black 9, is the MJJC lance, and as you can see, this combination gives a really nice thick foam. To be fair, the MJJC lance would give a pretty much a thick foam with any pressure washer, but in my experience with the different lances that I've got, it gives a really good foam with any of them. So while we're waiting on that snow foam to dwell, let's talk about the specification. Cost is £160, I paid £133.50 in the Black Friday sale last November. In specification, you're getting 1600 psi, which is 110 bar, 420 litres an hour, 1800 watts, and you can draw water from a tap, a tank or a bucket, which is really impressive for me. As you can see here, the pressure coming out of the 15-degree nozzle, taking that snow foam off, is really good, and it's certainly not low on power in my opinion. So one big point to really think about if you're going to buy this machine is, are you a domestic user or are you a commercial user? This machine is aimed at the domestic market, so you're using it maybe once or twice per week. This machine is not aimed at the commercial market. If you're looking for a commercial machine from Direct Hoses, you want to be looking at the grey series. If you're using an All Black 9 commercially, you're not covered by the warranty or the guarantee. It's just something a little extra to think about if you're thinking, this machine looks good, I can get a relatively cheap machine and I can use it commercially. You can, but if it breaks, you're not covered by the guarantee and the warranty. So just something to bear in mind before you purchase a machine. So like I mentioned before, this machine has the ability to draw water directly from a bucket. So I thought to myself, let's see just how well it can draw water from a bucket, and does it hamper the power of the machine at all, or impact the performance of spraying snow foam on your car. And as you can see, that is exactly why we were filling up that yellow bucket earlier on. And the answer to the question is, it might be slightly down on power as it's drawn it through the machine. It doesn't look just as powerful, but it's certainly got enough to do the job. And in terms of the snow foam, like I said, coupled up with this MJJC foam cannon, it produces an amply thick foam that's going to do the job. And then again, rinsing off here, absolutely no issues. If you're using a 20 litre bucket like I am there, you can expect to run through your water in about 3 to 3.5 minutes. That's generally what I found there. So you're realistically probably going to need to get yourself a couple of buckets if you plan on washing your car this way. Realistically, this is probably ideal for somebody who lives in a flat and doesn't have access to an outside tap, but they maybe do have access to outside electrics. You can hook the pressure washer up, take a few buckets down, fill them up with cold water, and you're good to go. Now, moving on to the next attachment that came with the bundle that I bought, which unfortunately I don't think they do anymore, because looking on the website I couldn't see anything, but this is the 3-point pivot attachment. Now, this is a great attachment for getting into your wheel arches, but something else that I find this attachment even better for is cleaning the roof. Now, I find that putting the attachment onto the lance extension and then pointing it down the way and using that for pressure washing the roof, it means that you're not leaning all the way over the car, you can stay far enough away from it, and you can keep the nozzle a good height away from the roof as well, which is always a good thing because you don't want to be getting too close, especially if you're stretching over into the centre sections of that roof. As you can see here in this instance, I can quite comfortably make it all the way over to the other side of the vehicle, or the other side of the roof, without really going anywhere near the car and worrying about touching the car. I know I could just walk round, but I'm lazy like that. Now, the next thing that I wanted to do was test the noise level of this machine. So I downloaded the only 3 decibel meter that I could find, and I used that. And when pressure washer's on there, we're getting a reading of between 90 and 100 decibels. I don't know if that's loud, but it certainly doesn't feel loud when you're standing next to the machine. And the last thing that I wanted to do with this machine was just check the weight of it, because in the hand it feels quite heavy, but when I stick it on the scales there, it's only saying 8.3 kilograms. Now, taking a look at some of the competitors to this machine, you're looking at the Karcher K4 Compact, which has a specification of 1800 watt, 130 bar and 420 litres per hour, and comes in at £150. And then on the other side of the scale, you're looking at the Nilfisk, and this is the C135 model. With this, it's coming in at a price of £155, 1700 watts, 135 bar and 440 litres per hour. Now for me, I can't really say much on either of these two models as I've never used them. The closest I get is a Karcher K2, which is a decent little machine, but I would definitely say that the Direct Hoses All Black 9 is a really good step up from the Karcher K2. The only issue that I've ever had with this machine was right at the start when I first opened the packaging, and basically what had happened was the pressure wasn't set very well, probably a little bit of quality control there on Direct Hoses' part, but one quick phone call and they told me exactly what to do and how to fix it. Now, I'm quite technically minded, so that wasn't an issue for me. Somebody who's not very technically minded might not feel overly confident about fixing things that should be spot on from the factory. So that's the only little negative that I have to say about it. But overall, I'm really happy with the machine and I'm really glad that I bought one. And considering the equipment that comes with it for the cost, I don't think you're going to get much better out there. Bearing in mind that a lot of people who buy the Nilfisk and the Karchers, they do end up buying the stubby gun, buying the longer hoses, normally from Direct Hoses. So you've got to think of that additional expense when you are thinking about a Karcher or a Nilfisk, whereas the Direct Hoses All Black 9, it's all included. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.